When he was 9 years old, David Copperfield performed his very first magic trick. By the time he was 12, he became the youngest person ever to be admitted to the Society of American Magicians. He has come a long way since performing at his neighborhood birthday parties and school functions. He has starred in 17 television specials that have garnered some 20 Emmy Awards. He performs over 500 shows a year. And next month, he will make his Broadway debut in Dreams and Nightmares. And I'm pleased to have him on this program. Welcome.
Thank you very much. That sounds pretty good.
It
does
sound good. I didn't also say that this, when they every day talk about how much entertainers make,
I'm what?
At the top of the list. When they talk about $50 million a year,
don't
which
believe
is big,
any of that stuff.
Big,
it's an illusion.
Big number for me.
Well, it's. I think it's only something that I guess shows some sort of respect, in industry respect, for people that care about numbers. You know, when they put you with people
how they
that
keep score.
I guess so. It's kind of weird. It's kind of sad and unfortunate. You know, it's not something I pay too much attention to, but I guess it gets some of the industry people that pay attention to you, I guess.
You are going to Broadway.
Yes, my first time.
Why?
I started here. I started not by performing, by being an audience and just enjoying it. I was the kid that snuck into all the shows.
The kid from New Jersey who snuck in.
I took the bus to New York and I would second act all the Broadway shows. You know, during intermission they'd have the people outside the theater, you know, taking a break, and I'd sneak right in and I saw the second act of all the Bob Fosse shows and the Jerome Robbins shows and the Hal Prince shows, and it really influenced my work and influenced my magic so much.
So?
Well, it makes my magic very theatrical. You know, I really I'm humbled by their work, and I try to take the magic that I do and take it in those directions, make it romantic sometimes, and sometimes daring, and sometimes cinematic, and try to take the audience to a different place. And it has pushed my work in those directions rather than just fooling people.
You are the creator. First of all, the name you just picked, it is the David Copperfield.
Well, Dickens created the name.
Dickens created the name, but you pulled it out and said,
I took it for better or for worse.
You don't know why, you just happened to like it when it took place?
Probably a stupid idea, but...
why a stupid idea?
I don't know, because it's not all mine.
What was your real name?
Kotkin, David Kotkin.
David Kotkin.
From Metuchen, New Jersey.
From where?
Metuchen, New Jersey, exit 10, yeah.
And how far? Exit 10 off the Jersey Turnpike?
Exactly.
And you were back there recently?
Yesterday,
wandering around. Somebody
around.
wanted to go back home with you?
I did a little interview in my hometown, and it was pretty amazing. Everything is smaller. Everything shrank.
Yeah. Is all this amazing to you? You know, what's happened to you and how well you are doing and what you can command in terms of...
I don't know. I think I am constantly working towards new things, and I don't really have time to look back, which is sad, I guess.
Not introspective at all, very much.
No, I don't. You know, especially the pat yourself on the back concept. Really, you know, I'm always moving forward into new challenges and sometimes ridiculous ideas and sometimes good ideas. And
are you driven? I mean, are you? You sure. Really are.
I'm driven. Yes, I am.
To do what? To find.
Well, to take magic in new directions, to get new respect for it. I try to do different things with it. You know, we had a book come out last year with all of my favorite authors who wrote in the same way that Hitchcock put together an anthology of stories and of different things based on horror and based on suspense. I put out a book last year with HarperCollins with writers like Joyce Carol Oates and Dean Koontz and Ray Bradbury, all around magic and illusion. So it takes magic in that direction. I've got a museum of magic that really pays homage to all the great past masters of my art form, which really shows the tapestry. And in our Broadway show, in fact, at the Martin Beck Theater, I'm bringing a lot of those artifacts in the lobby. I have a beautiful museum display that's going to be in the lobby. Martin Beck, the creator of that theater, happened to be the manager of Houdini. So I have a lot of Houdini artifacts and letters between the two of them. So
in your Hall of Fame, Houdini is first?
No, probably Gene Kelly and Fred Astaire and Orson Welles and Walt Disney.
Performers rather than...
Mostly. I think people that push the art form. I think Houdini was an incredible publicist and a great capture of people's imagination. But the people that influenced me in my youth were people in the cinema world and the theater world.
So what you think of yourself most of all is an entertainer?
as a communicator. Yes, just like you. No, I try to really share through my work different thoughts and different emotions. I was always jealous of singers and songwriters and playwrights that could take their feelings and what happened to them at home and share it through a song or through a play. But I love magic so much too, so I wanted to do both and tell stories with my magic.
What's the difference in magic, illusion, sleight of hand?
Well, I think basically magic really captures, the word magic is everything. It's things that are supposedly real and just your imagination. Illusion is very specifically creating illusions. I mean, Orson Welles created illusions when he wasn't on the magic stage. He was creating illusions as a film director. Steven Spielberg, George Lucas, Francis Coppola. All of these people create illusions using the camera as their tool. They tell stories like that. Sleight of hand is purely, prestidigitation. It's
what?
Prestidigitation. I have to say it very fast now. It's just using technique of pure sleight of hand. I do a lot of that in the show.
Yeah.
I kind of have an unplugged section of the show, which is without all the accoutrements that I'm known for, all the lights and the sound and all of that. I love the intimate kind of magic as well, and juxtaposing the two makes for a very dynamic evening.
Now, Broadway theater,
Yes.
how will that be different for you?
It's smaller.
I know. And so what does that mean?
It means a real plus for the audience, because they get to see things right in their
What
face.
does it mean, a real negative for you?
Only because, for financial reasons, yes.
It won't be 50 million this year, will it?
No, but it's a great homecoming for me, because I've stayed away because I really wanted to do it right. I wanted to come here and do what I do the way I saw it, and it's kind of fun.
I want to talk about what you do in a minute, but what do you learn from, Francis Ford Coppola?
A lot I learned from Francis Ford.
What?
Well, watch his work, and you learn.
So you watch The Godfather, and you...
A lot.
You learn a lot.
Yeah, as with many people, but in his case, he's
a conversation, which was wonderful.
Incredible, Gene Hackman.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of the cinema. My magic is very cinematic, even though it's done mostly on the stage. He's a friend of mine. I'm working on a number of his projects. I'm helping him with some things that he's doing, and he was kind enough to give advice and give help and kind of push me a little bit in certain directions, and that's
like what direction? You mean to make you
to wrap the show in kind of a format that's more personal, to try things that are theatrically different than I was already doing.
But the point here is that you are creator, arranger, conductor, everything. This is you from A to Z.
Well, no, I have a lot of great collaborators.
I know that, but the idea,
it's kind of a Disney-esque
you're your own
process.
Executive producer, as they say.
It is very much a Disney-esque process. I've got very talented people that I'm working with. I'm ultimately responsible. Many of the ideas and inventions are mine, purely mine, but I have great help and a great team of people that I work with.
Let me take a look at this. This is the Death Saw. This is from The Magic of David Copperfield.
This is a piece where I have to escape, and it's really based on all of the movies where you, all the action-adventure movies, and this is my take on that.
Now, how do we know this is not camera tricks?
Come to the show, the Martin Beck Theater, and you'll know.
You'll know, all right. Here it is, roll tape.
See, that's
Yes, that's what?
That's the easy part. The hard part is
Getting it back together.
of
yeah,
course.
that's a tough one. Now, did you create this?
I did. I did.
Of all the things that are in the what's it? Dreams and Nightmares.
Dreams and Nightmares, yeah.
How many of them are created by you? You actually, and how many of them you saw somewhere else?
No, all of them were developed by me.
By you.
But some of the invention, I would say maybe 50% of the invention is mine and my team also. You know, I mean, in the books that you get on magic, I've got a big library of 80,000 books. The only craft or subject that has more books written about it than magic is medicine, in fact. Magic has lots and lots of books written about it.
Magic has been a subject of great curiosity for a lot of very interesting and famous people, right? I mean, like whom?
Well, Orson Welles, you mentioned.
Orson Welles, I knew.
I mean, lots. I mean, kings, and going back to the magic was a part of our culture. I mean, way back. The Merlins, I mean, ran the country. You know.
But do you know why you got interested?
I guess probably I did it, and somebody liked it, when I was a kid, and that approval, just made me.
But you described yourself as socially disabled or something.
I guess so. But I think we were all socially disabled, I think, to a certain degree. Magic,
social skills.
We had to learn those things, and magic really helped me with those things. But I think, a lot of politicians have learned magic and do magic in their spare time.
Why hasn't somebody, I'm always amazed that there are not books written explaining all this for people.
There are.
Are they, really?
Yeah.
In other words, you have a real problem. You have to sign confidentiality agreements with you if you work on your...
You do. And it's been successful so far. There's been some books written about me, and nobody buys them, because I don't think people really want to know.
Oh, I see. So they write about you and how you do it.
They write about
nobody
it.
Nobody wants to buy them.
I don't think so, There's been a few, actually.
And do you try to stop them in court, or you...
I do, and I have.
You've stopped some of them?
Uh-huh. Yeah, I have.
Because they'd signed a confidentiality agreement, or...?
That, and also because they're wrong. Their explanations were incorrect. And that's not right, to take people's money if it's not correct. Now, there's thousands of magic books that are written, but people that buy them are people in my craft. I don't think there's I think people enjoy watching E.T., and not necessarily knowing how it works. They know, but they forget. They enjoy feeling the feeling, and I think the proof of that is, Time magazine, about 10 years ago, came out with a whole story, and they showed how things worked, as part of a story on magic. And the very next week, I used those exact same principles in my show, and people applauded. They forgot. They read it, and they forgot it. So what does that say? I think it says that people really don't want to know. They don't really care about how it works. They may be curious, but I think they kind of,
What is the appeal of it, you think? Why do people want to come see The Illusion?
I think it's the same appeal as an adventure movie or a romance movie or a comedy. It's a pure, profound escape. It's watching things you know aren't real and watching them happen before your eyes. It's the possibility that knowing that that something's out there that you don't understand. So it's kind of a very satisfying feeling. There's two very distinct audience members. One is sitting there trying to figure stuff out, and they'll sit there and they'll watch, and out in the lobby they'll be talking with their friends, and they'll be trying to figure it out. And then there's the other group. And by the way, that group comes back over and over again, so that's great,
Yeah.
And then there's the other group that just enjoys it, like watching a fantasy film or something like that. And I think they're both, welcome members.
And what can you tell me about this one?
What do you want to know?
Well, just tell me, what is anything that you can tell me? What would you tell me within the bounds of what you consider?
Nothing along those lines. But what I can tell you is what I'm proudest of is that there's no box, there's no enclosure, and this is the first time in history that body was split in half. From a standpoint of just pure technology, just to have two pieces of moving body parts on stage like that was the first time. And that's 10 years ago, when we worked that out. I have a new illusion in the show, which is amazingly great, which with a laser, with this huge industrial laser. It's never been on TV, and it'll be, the first scene here in New York. And I get bisected by this thing, and my feet go walking around, and I carry my torso around, and you've never seen anything like it. It's like watching a cartoon, but you're watching it in 3D right on stage, and it'll be interesting to see what people say.
But notwithstanding all the skill you may have in illusion, you think that what really serves you best is the legacy of people like Fred Astaire, your understanding of theater and your understanding of staging.
I don't know if I understanding of it, or I don't know how good I am at it, but I have a love of it, you know, and I definitely, you know, that I didn't present that Death Saw as an illusion. I presented it, and you didn't see enough of the pre-story behind it, but it's an escape. It was all about me trying to get out of there, you know, so the me getting cut in half is a little, you know, bonus at the end. It's an unexpected thing.
It starts when?
The official opening is December 5th, around the 26th or 27th.
And you'll go into previews before that or something?
Yeah, 26th of November, 27th, I start previewing, and then it's only 5 weeks.
Now, are you nervous about this at all, or this is no big deal for you?
Oh, it's a really big deal. I'm not nervous. I mean, I'm anxious to kind of come home in a way, and I want to solace, and I have an intermission so people can second act my show the same way that I did. You know, all this turnabout's fair play.
A young man comes back to Broadway.
Well, thank you for the young man part.
Thank you, David. David Copperfield on Broadway in Dreams and Nightmares. We'll be right back. Stay with us.